Kemper Profiler, Tones and Talks. Hello, everybody. Hello, Thomas. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Cool. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And yeah, pretty exciting about today's episode because you are dealing with, basically unpleasant creatures and or people who are called that way. But I haven't experienced one properly myself.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty curious because if I tried one, it didn't do it for me completely, and maybe I find out why that was. So, without any further ado, we're talking about the rat, the distortion box that was or is still also very legendary, and you have one there, and you know a lot about the history of the rat and what it does and what kind of incarnations are there right now. So Thomas knows, and yeah, Thomas, let us know.
Okay, so my history with the rat was a different one. I think I told you in some episode. Um, I had it was in the 80s. I had an Ibanez tube screamer, and I didn't at that time. I was younger, of course, and I didn't know to use that right. So I had, I think it was a high watt 50 amp. So this is not a high gain distorting amp. An Ibanez tube screamer placed before that, so it doesn't give me that, yeah, hard rocking tone. E- Of course, with the strut that I used these days. And I switched over, sold the TS9, and there was this magic black box called the Rat. In Germany, I think it came on the place in the mid 80s. So just for me as a young guy from the countryside. And yeah, this Rat was tube amp, overdrive, distortion, more distortion, but not this distortion that we knew from the Big Muff and all those 70s things. It was a warm distortion tone, and it had one magic knob in the middle to get that warm distortion tone. And yeah, I used that really long until I think I bought a tube screamer again. When I was going to play more cleaner tones and
Hmm.
get rid of all those light high gain stuff. I don't really know. I think it was a super tube screamer or something like that. But okay, so anyways, the red. I will show you some stuff about the red. There is a great article on the JHS website, and I think Josh Scott did a video about the red. So he is
Hmm.
the doctor, professor, yeah, of all effect pedals. I think he knows everything. So what I have is something, yeah, stripped down of research on the JHS website. So here we are, the red. This is the black box. Interesting. The users are very different. So Andy Summers, Dave Grohl, John Scofield. I saw John Scofield in a club in the 90s where he was using the red.
Hmm.
He sounded great. He always sounded, yeah, very special, but great. Totally different. Nuno Bettencourt, Joe Walsh, Hetfield, and Hammett used that on the Kill 'Em All album, and Peter Buck from REM used the red on the whole Monster album of
Hmm.
REM.
Wow.
And yeah, there are different versions of the red. So a guy named Scott Burnham designed the red in 77 or 78. On the website of Josh Scott, he said that maybe the circuit itself was designed as early as 1974. And this one here is the first version. It's called, yeah, the Buttbox Red. it's a hard clipping distortion pedal in the style of Distortion Plus and DOT 250. So these typical higher gain pedals these days, but in a different way. And this is the first known model, the Butt Box Red, released in '78. And now we're coming to the myth part of this episode. There are 12 or 11 or 12 of these Butt Box Reds were made, and very rare. Some people say that there were 12 circuits and just 11 Butt Box Reds. So again, it's a really low amount of pedals that are on the market these days from the Butt Box Red. And the first one, which was really released and in higher values available, was the version 1A, a fringe logo red. So the red here has some fringes on the T, and it had a tone control in the middle. So distortion, tone, volume. And the first change was made in 1981, version 2. It was called the filter controlled red. So the red logo is different, no fringes, and it's a filter control. So this is the magic knob, the different design, and the version 1 adds treble when the knob is turned clockwise, and this version is reversed. So as you turn it clockwise, the treble frequencies are filtered out of the circuit, and you get this warmer tone. This is one of the magic things of the red from my perspective. Then in 1984 we have the 3A white face red because of the white plate, and it had a smaller enclosure. So because these days the Boss compact pedals were very everybody loved the Boss compact pedals, and these smaller enclosure, the MXR pedals were also in smaller enclosures, so they need to make some smaller reds, and this is the version 3A, and this is the one that we really that it became famous then. In 1988 there is the Red 2, and it's called the flat top LED red, because the older one doesn't have an LED. The newer one has an LED in the A integrated. So this is very important. So you need to see if the red is on or if the pedal is on or not. So they put that into the red circuit in 1988. Next one is in 1989, the Turbo Red. So maybe this would be the pedal for you, because some people say that when they have a distorted Marshall amp, the red was definitely useless to them because it added too much gain. And an employee from Proco, Gary Carpenter, called Grape, did some removements of the silicon diodes and changed them so you can use this red, or the circuit of this red, the Turbo Red, in combination with a Marshall amp, turning the distortion down, adding more volume to get a boost sound, so which you couldn't do with the previous models. So this is the good thing on the Turbo Red. And in 2008 they had the version 4B. It's called the Red 2, Chinese-made slope enclosure. So they took the slope enclosure, you see it here on the Turbo Red, and they made some productions in China because they didn't had many parts available in the US. And of course, the production is way cheaper in China. So they changed the production and did those Chinese reds produced since 2008. And Josh Scott says, despite the occasional forum professionals' thoughts on this change, the Red 2 version 4B is a well-built and excellent sounding pedal that you would be hard-pressed to pick out from a lineup with any vintage Red ever produced. So there are some people who say, oh no, Chinese-made Red, the vintage ones are better. Yeah, so pick anything. I really don't know how compared to my old one. I have this Chinese Red here to compare, and I think it sounds good. I didn't compare it to some older ones, but yeah, as the guys say, always the guitar players ask 10 and you get 15 answers, and every answer is maybe right. So this is,
Yeah, and it's always, yeah, the old stuff sounds just
yeah,
so much better.
yeah, and smells better also, and yeah, everything's better older
Yeah.
than. Okay, so this is the part checking out how can we recreate this tone of the Red, of this Chinese Red 2 in the profiler. And it's really simple, I can say. So let me check out, oh, wait a minute. First of all,
Well, listening to this, what you just said during the introduction is that this might have been something for me, but I don't know why this completely passed. I don't know. Because I've seen guys use it, but I never tried it. I don't know why. It didn't translate, it didn't communicate. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm curious to now hear what it sounds like.
it's always first of all, I think some stuff with overdrive pedals is how you use them and how your sweet spot settings are. And for me, it was at these days, it gave me that more sustained tone, more drive, and a warmer tone compared to, yeah, some big muffs or the Boss DS distortion boxes that were up in the market in the early 80s. And also now it's adding with single coil pickups, especially getting a smooth sustained tone. So I will show you the Red. Here we are, a little bit bright, and this is the Red. So turning on, you see here is the LED, and I have my bass sound is Marshall Plexi. And my first sweet spot setting. So first of all, just testing. Turning the Red on, you hear the Red. Middle position, that doesn't sound great. So when you turn this filter at a lower value, you get much treble. Turning it up. It has a huge impact. This filter. So the distortion level is going from, let's see, very low distortion. You need to add some volume. It starts at about 8 o'clock. get at 10. Even more. And you hear how the frequencies all change a little bit. So here you have a more treble sounding, and here you get more, lower mid. And again, high gain. But this is a little bit too much for me. So, but this pedal has a wide range of really distortion tones you can get. And you don't need to use them all. It's always the same. Take some, that adds something to your guitar. It's different when you're using humbucker guitar. So these red tones, I use them always, or the most time, with single coils, just to get some sustain on the single coils and not that much distortion. Adding some, put the filter up to maybe 3 o'clock, and then you get this warm tone. So this is the first setting I'm using. I can show you now the rig manager.
Yeah, and generally, as I'm listening to this, I'm pretty amazed, to be honest, because basically that was something I was looking for, and I guess like everyone in that area, because whenever you added a distortion, you had to fight the increasing shriekiness and the treble and all these things. So something like this comes in pretty handy, especially when you increase the distortion, when even the distortion itself deals with that too much treble coming in. So that would have been interesting. And I have a completely different sound in my memory. So because I heard it from someone who had the filter all the way up, which was then pretty shrieky, I guess.
No, it's really warm when you.
Oh yeah, or maybe here
all the way down.
Yeah, starting on the way down, where you expected it to be pretty warm, and it's not, the opposite. And the other thing, the way the distortion sounds is far from what I heard right now, and maybe the name, because this shrieky thing around that pedal was then in my mind. So I was wrong, but as I said, it's pretty interesting to hear now. You know what it's about, and also how I could get maybe some things to play around with in that regard with the profiler. So curious to see how that's going now.
Okay, so taking over with the rig manager, we have the signal chain, and the red is connected in front of the input. So at between the guitar and the profiler. And my first sweet spot setting is distortion at 9 o'clock, the filter at 15, so 3 o'clock, and 2 o'clock the volume, because the red has a little bit lower volume. So when you hear the amp alone, turning the red on with volume 12, it's a little bit too low. So 14 is unison gain. So this crunchy tone, and to get the sound of the rat, we take the mouse. And this is an overdrive in the profiler's drive section, distortion section, the mouse, which is definitely modeled or made after a rat. I don't know which version Christoph had. So this is the sound with the mouse. Again, the rat.
That sounds very close.
Yeah, Christoph did
from over here.
Again a great job. So what you need to know, the tone pot is definitely a tone pot. So it's not working like the filter on the red. So if you want to have this warm tone, you need to turn that down. So you get here, you get this screaming, gritty, high frequency sound. So this is, for me, the setting 3 o'clock on the red, this one, I had on the red, and going down here. And also the volume is at noon, so this is unison volume. So for me, it's definitely more easy to use, and you have a little bit more amount of boost section, because this one can do also some boost stuff. So this is, yeah, comparing. Very close. And also the drive setting, so the pedal is drive at 9 o'clock. This is really the same. So going further, taking drive at noon, turning the pedal distortion to noon. It's the same. So from my perspective, the profilers, the mouse, sounds a bit more transparent and not that, let's say, muddy in the lower frequencies. You hear that? Just listen to some. It's a bit tighter in the lower frequency range. So this is something that I really dig, that I really like, especially for recording and for playing on stage. So I think check one made great. The next sweet spot is to add some more gain for single coil pickups to get a more, this lead tone and this warm lead tone. So to do that, I have distortion at 3 o'clock, 1500, the filter at maximum 1700, and volume also at 2 o'clock, 1400. So this is the sound. This really crying single coil sound. When I switch over to the bridge pickup, and even if I turn the filter a little bit down to, let's say, 4 o'clock, so this is getting this, that was what I was looking for the older days, to get more sound and sustain with my single coil guitar.
Yeah.
And with that setting, you get that, and you get not get this really, you can get it when you turn the filter down. It can get really muddy and nasty for some stoner sounds. Totally. Also great.
Cool.
But yeah, this is this setting, 3 o'clock, about, yeah, turning up for the lead tone, the filter at 4 o'clock, and then 2 o'clock. Now, let's take it to the profiler. What our mouse can say. Here we are, and great sustain.
Impressive, yeah. And you haven't changed anything gain-wise at the amp?
No, definitely not.
Cool.
So wait a minute. Yes, this is the amp, just a little bit of delay.
Yeah.
All the comes from the pedal, from the mouse. The red.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the settings, the same. Drive at a little bit higher value, so it's not 1500, it's a little bit more. Tone a little bit lower, and I raise the volume a little bit more to get more saturation and to push the amp a little bit more. So these are the settings, and to be honest, I was not that much using the mouse in the profiler. I'm a big fan of the Kemper Drive, but yeah, the mouse is definitely great to use, great for some stuff, to do some high gainier tones, lead tones, in combination with a clean amp. So you not always need a high gain distortion amp. And another thing that I want to try now is using this as a boost. So taking that what you asked for, changing the gain on the amp. That what people couldn't do in the earlier days with the red because it gets too much muddy. And here we are with the Marshall. Let's take some more. Okay, now, okay, setting drive down and take the volume up. Turning the delay off. It's great for those palm mute 8 notes. They sound a little bit thin with only the amp. And with the mouse, so that works totally great. And you can even turn the drive a little bit up. But not too much. And sometimes it gets muddy. So you get this hump on the palm muted notes. So for me it's something from 0 to 1.5. To get these tones.
Pretty cool.
And the mouse is definitely not that noisy as the red, as you could hear in the higher gain settings.
Yeah, wonderful. Focus spotlight on a pretty much overseen feature, I think, in the profiler, and I'll definitely go behind that and check that one out because it adds to the toolbox of changing some of the tonal aspects when you run into any amp, basically, to get the guitar to a different place frequency wise without not changing everything. Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. And try. Oh, sorry. Yeah, bring it on. Bring it.
I'm not ready.
Bring it.
Just what you can also do is, first of all, when you're using the mouse, check out some of the settings: boost, medium, full. So boost is this one. This is great, and has the tone already turned down, but maybe raise up the volume. But what you also can do is use a higher gain setting. Turn the mix level down. Maybe with a higher tone setting.
So you're basically getting some tube screamer behavior to the red by just letting some of the unprocessed signal through as well.
Yeah. And this is something, work with that also. Taking more drive level, taking, yeah, you can turn up the tone to get a little bit more higher frequencies and then lower the mix for a crunch tone or for some mixed tones, crunch from the amp, crunch from or higher gain from the pedal, just add it a little bit. So we have all in all these distortion pedals here in the profiler, we have this mix level also with the fuzz pedals. So you can combine, you have a really much variety to use on these sounds and create some really fine-tuned overdrive tones, which you can't. Yeah, much pedals nowadays have a mix level on the overdrive pedals, so you can do that too. But the older pedals didn't have that, so a Red doesn't have that. So it's for me really fine to have that in the mouse.
Yeah, cool, interesting. And I will take this to yeah, a guitar project I'm just working on dealing with because I got completely into P90 pickups and trying to find out what's possible there. And there are also some really great aspects to them, and also some of the aspects that are a little bit of a challenge. And it sounds like with the mouse, respectively with the Red, you could, if you want to have a P90 situation for clean stuff and being really fat and crunchy up to a certain level, but then you have difficulties to get this tight, boutique tone out of them. And I think this could help with a little bit of preamp definition
Yeah.
from the profiler to tighten these things up so that you could be able to just with a P90 guitar do a lot of varieties and styles. So yeah, I will try this at home here actually, and I invite you to do the same. Check out the mouse, and thank you for this, Thomas. Again,
Welcome.
another thing for the toolbox, and another tool to express ourselves. So thank you very much, and looking forward to the next one. Bye.
Bye.